Prepare to take an even deeper dive into Golden Eagle football. It's the Coach Dryden Show every Thursday at 6 o'clock live. Get behind the scenes with players, special guests, and a look inside game plans for every game live. Now, let's send it to Studio B with your host, Brayden Blackwell.
And welcome in, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Coach Dryden Show live and in studio on Shelbyville's home for Central, 98.7 and AM 1580, WLIJ. Thank you for choosing to spend an hour of your time here with us tonight. I'd like to welcome the man of the hour, Coach Dryden, head coach of the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles in your third year, correct? Coach, I know you've got a pretty healthy and rich background of coaching history, not just here, but all around the place.
That's Brayden. That's actually a pretty nice way of saying I've been around everywhere and I'm old, so I appreciate that.
Well, I wasn't calling you old.
Well, it's okay. It's fine. So.
But I know you've got a lot of experience with football, obviously now in your third year with the Golden Eagles, and ever since you started coaching, team's been, last year was very successful. This year so far, 2-1, so pretty successful so far. But I greatly appreciate you coming in here and joining with me for an hour.
Appreciate the opportunity.
And the Coach Dryden Show is brought to you by P3 Technology, Northcutt Surveying, Clanton Pipe and Supply, and Craig and Wheeler Realty. And we'll be back after this break with more of the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ.
P3 Technology, serving the IT needs of Bedford and surrounding counties for over 25 years, offering a wide range of technical services to satisfy your business network needs. P3 is your one-stop shop for IT.
That's right. Our technicians will work quickly to resolve your technical issues, specializing in customized network installations along with workstation maintenance. Call P3 today at 931-450-4210 or visit our website at www.p3tech.net.
P3 Technology,
where technology meets opportunity.
Clanton Pipe and Supply, your corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe supplier. Clanton has been selling pipe for over 30 years and carries all types and sizes of corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe. Special orders and delivery are available. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton has you covered too. They have everything from skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Clanton Pipe and Supply, 931-684-4847, 904 Madison Street, Shelbyville.
Schedule to get your property surveyed today at Northcutt Surveying. We provide services such as boundary surveying, topographical surveys, construction layouts, and more. We've been giving our customers accurate and precise results since 1965. Give us a call today at 931-684-2741 so we can help you improve your tomorrow. That's Northcutt Surveying in Shelbyville. And always remember, once an eagle, always an eagle.
Hey, it's Tad Craig for Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company, located at 508 South Cannon Boulevard in Shelbyville, Tennessee, just across the Duck River Bridge. Real estate has changed so much lately, but it's good to know some things never change, like dedication, integrity, and character. Here at Craig & Wheeler, we strive to treat you the way we'd want to be treated. Real estate can be the most money you'll ever make or spend in your lifetime. It's stressful, and we believe we can help remove that stress. Call us today at Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company for your biggest decisions. 931-684-9112 or visit us on the web at craigwheeler.com.
You're listening to the Coach Dryden Show on Shelbyville's home for Central, 98.7 and AM 1580 WLIJ. Let's send it back to Studio B.
And welcome back, everybody. This is Brayden Blackwell, joined by Coach Judd Dryden here on the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ 98.7 and AM 1580. Coach, we missed the first two games of the year for the show due to the celebration coming up, and missed the last one, just a little bit of miscommunication and some fumbling around. But we're finally here. So before I get into the upcoming game coming up with Columbia Central, I figure we can go take a look back and look at the past games. Starting off week one with Siegel. That was a very impressive win, and everybody was able to see it. Live broadcast on TV. A lot of people watching, including myself at the celebration. I had it pulled up on my phone. And that first game, Robert Bailey is going to be my main topic here.
Okay.
Incredible rushing attack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Incredible rushing attack. What I had down, he had 305 yards on 32 carries with 3 touchdowns, had a hat trick. And I know Steven as well, getting a lot of rushes out of the pocket. That's what I've noticed a lot about the offense, being able to move around in the pocket and scramble when he needs to. Do you think that'll stay consistent with Robert Bailey getting that many carries a game? I know in the most recent game with Coffee County, we cut back just a little bit and focused more on the passing. But do you think that'll stay consistent and all throughout the season?
We hope not. So first of all, let me go back to Siegel. So the most amazing thing, now Robert is an outstanding running back. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
He's possibly one of the best in the state. Definitely one of the best in the 5A. But watching our offensive line gel and learn throughout that game. And when we started 2 sophomores, we had a converted tight end playing guard. And so it was just watching them series after series get better. And that was amazing to watch because you really, no matter how many scrimmages you have, no matter how hard you make practice, until the bullets are flying live and full speed, there's no real way to learn outside of experience. And so losing those 3 seniors we had last year, that's what really made that game click for us. And you could see it. First drive, Coach Hunsaker, our offense coordinator, put together a great script, took us right down the field, we scored. Had a great mix of everything going on. Then we hit a little bit of a stumbling block for a couple series.
Right.
And that's where the growth really happened. And nobody could see it. It's like that, it's like that principle of an iceberg. Everybody just sees the tip. And what was happening over on the sideline is they were constantly going back, looking at film, getting coached up by Coach Keeley, the O-line coach, and slowly understanding what Siegel was doing and what their responsibilities were. And then second half, because of that, Robert just explodes. He has multiple big gains, touchdown. I mean, the stuff for Steven started opening up, and defense took over, and we finally took control of the game. And so it's a huge testament to those coaches on the offensive side of the ball for what they were able to do. You go to 30-plus carries game 1. You go to game 2 for Robert. I think he only had 18. I believe it was less than 20.
It was at least under 20.
And still had, I don't know how many yards he had in that. Had close to 200, if I remember right, if not 200. And so, but the workload, Steven carried a little more of the workload in that. We got Nate Zimmerman a little bit more involved.
Right.
So that started happening. And then Coffee County, who very well may have the single best defensive front we're going to see all year, even if we make it to Chattanooga, the state championship.
There's a lot of big guys in that trench.
They're not just big. Coach Haynes has done an amazing job with them. He was their defense coordinator for the last several years too. And the way they play, those guys have a motor. They're big. They get off the ball, and they just keep coming. And so it's been even though most wouldn't look at it this way, it was a blessing that we've been able to play them for a couple of years, because we just won't see that anywhere else.
Right.
The way
County
they
is a
come
very
out,
tough team.
Very physical up front. This year they stacked the box on us. They were not going to let Robert run the football. I do believe he cranked off one. It was plus 20 at one point.
It
got
was
called
around
back.
that point. I believe that was the one where he hurdled the defender and got out of bounds.
And it got called back for holding, if I remember right. So but it took other guys to make plays, and it took special teams. It took our defense. It took Steven connecting with LeBron and William, and so it forced us to expand. And we knew that going in we were going to have to, but in game we had to adjust and expand further, and they made it happen. So we have definitely gotten better each and every week. It's just simply, can we continue to make those improvements?
Yeah, and a lot of Shelbyville Central fans, they went into the season, very great season last year, very high hopes for the team, and I remember the exact reaction I had when I saw that Rocky Chandler had gotten injured, and I know that it was a big change. Rocky Chandler is one of the best running backs in the state, and he did an incredible job last year, a huge jump for him. Now, senior year, gonna miss it, but Robert Bailey doing an incredible job of picking up, and even Nate Zimmerman, you're seeing he's grown a lot since when he first came into the program, and you're seeing a huge jump in these run plays, even without your first-string running back. You're seeing a great play by Robert Bailey. You're seeing the O-line, especially like you mentioned, Palmer Edwards moving into the offensive line, and then a lot of young guys coming in. There's a lot of difference from last year, and I see every game that I've been to so far, y'all are doing an incredible job of being able to get these young guys the reps and getting them that practice that they need. So that first game against Siegel, great win, strong win. You go into the next week against Marshall County, and you take the first loss of the season. I personally did not get to watch the game. I had some stuff going on in my own life, and I noticed I kept track of the score the entire time that I was out. What is the main concern about that? Because Marshall County, you're going in and tomorrow going to play Columbia Central. Columbia Central's only losses against Marshall County as well.
Right.
Have you seen anything about Marshall County, maybe on film or just through the grapevine, about something that you're going to have to compete with against Columbia as well as fix against Marshall County when you see them next year?
That's a great question. We basically going to Marshall County specifically, you're talking one of the top 2 4A football programs in Middle Tennessee, maybe top 5 in the state.
Yeah, they're a very strong
as far
team.
as consistent year to year. They've lost to Pearl Cone for a couple years in a row in the quarterfinals. I mean, they played them relatively well last year, and I think they'll play them well this year.
Absolutely.
So, that's another great game for us. They give something completely different. They're very multiple on offense. They give you a lot of different looks, a lot of different personnel packages, and Coach Osteen does a great job of mixing up things and not being as predictable as some are. So that game for us, it showed us 2 things, and both things we had to see. We were able to run the football and move the offense well to score 35 points.
Right.
And anytime you score 35, you have your chances to win. And so we knew with that we offensively we're going to be okay. We made another good leap from week 1 to week 2. But defensively, the multiple sets and everything exposed a few issues that we had to come back and address, and that is why, in talking to everybody outside the coaching world, that's why you schedule tough non-region games, because you want to be exposed when, yes, you want to win, but in the vast scheme of things, you want to win your region first.
Absolutely.
So I'd much rather be exposed early than late in region play. A good friend of mine coaches a really good football team. They won't get there. Their only real test so far, and the only one they'll have until the 1st of October, has been Oakland. They're going to roll almost everybody until October. That's not good, because you've not been tested, you've not been exposed, you've not had to see how resilient and how resilient you are, how much grit you have.
You trip and fall, and you don't have time to get up.
Right, because it's too late in the season. So, and it takes time sometimes to make the correction. Sometimes it's a personnel correction, sometimes it's a scheme, sometimes it's a technique. But all those things, you got to see them before you can do anything with them.
Right.
So Marshall County is another game that gave that to us. On the defensive side of the ball, we then last week, and I know we'll talk about Coffee County here in a second, but last week Coffee County gave us a whole different look, offensively and defensively from what we had seen. So 3 great games leading into our first region game, and the singular prayer through all of it is that you come out healthy, and we have. So we not only have we improved through experience and through adjustment and through recognizing those things that we have to improve upon, we also came out of them healthy coming into our first region game. So all those will play in come Friday night.
Right, and like you just mentioned, foreshadowed there for a second, the Coffee County game, first game that was actually broadcasted by us here at WLIJ, and I think that was a great start to our season here. Came out, offense moved a little slower than they had in the previous 2 games, and then I think the swing really happened with William Bobo, who won our Player of the Game award. Came out, kick return touchdown. It felt like we were back in Shelbyville with how the crowd was reacting. Band was loud. We were right next to him, so we heard him pretty well. And I figured that was going to push the needle a little bit further for Shelbyville, and it definitely did. In those late stages of the game, defense came up big. Brody Lavorne had a sack, as well as that interception earlier on in the game. And my main question to that is, what did you say going into that fourth quarter that got y'all to that finish line, that last little push that you needed?
It's the same message all the time. It's a consistent message. It is literally play in this moment, learn from this moment, then play in this moment. So in other words, you can't live in the past because you can't change it. All you can do is learn from it. You can't worry about the future because you have zero control over that. All you have control of is right now in this moment, in this snap. So that's always the message. And it's always, why are we here? We're here because of the guy that lines up to our right and the guy that lines up to our left. And it's my job to play my tail off in my role so they can count on me in every moment. But at the same time, we're going to make mistakes.
Right.
The only thing you can do from a mistake is learn from it. You can't, if you dwell on it too much, then you're not ready for what's coming right now.
You're stuck.
Because the next punch is coming.
Right.
Right? If you're still thinking about the one that came from the right, the left one's coming. The follow-up's coming. So you've got to be able to snap and clear and play in this moment. So that's the consistent message across the program all the time. And it goes back to what we do in the weight room. It goes back to the culture that we've built that's founded in our strength conditioning program, in that at any given moment, the squat rack will try to kill you.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing you can do when it buries you, is come back at it the next day. Right. And eventually the body adapts and you improve, you get stronger. And then the moment you get stronger, the intensity goes up and it buries you again. And so you have another choice to make. Do I quit or do I come back at it? And then as I keep coming back at it, I continue to improve. And that is the greatest of all life lessons. That do I keep coming? Do I get back up? Do I keep coming? And that's what our culture is based on. That mindset, that growth mindset, and the grit that comes with it. So going back to Friday night in fourth quarter, it started at halftime, just a reminder. It's the reminder going into the first quarter. It's the reminder going into the third quarter, and it's the reminder in the fourth quarter that the only thing matters, there's nothing on the scoreboard that matters, only each individual moment on the field. And that's what they do. And all of these guys of last year's seniors, you could see that when they bought into it, things went well, and we got better really fast.
Oh, yeah,
this year, even in Marshall County, when things went completely south on us in the fourth quarter in a huge way, you saw them continue to not just, a lot of coaches out there are about, hey, my guys didn't quit. Our guys were still striving with everything they had to win. There's a difference between not quitting and striving for the win when you're behind. And that's who we are, and that's what I absolutely love about these guys. And I could go. It moves me to tears at times when I think about the things they're willing to do and how they are and who they are. So that was the message. Long answer to a short question, but that was the message. Was, hey, let's be who we are, play in the moment, and then we'll see what happens. And lo and behold, we pulled out a win.
Yeah, an impressive win there, wrapping up now 2-1, heading into a Columbia Central game. And we'll talk about that when we get back after this break. You're listening to the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ.
P3 Technology, serving the IT needs of Bedford and surrounding counties for over 25 years, offering a wide range of technical services to satisfy your business network needs. P3 is your one-stop shop for IT.
That's right. Our technicians will work quickly to resolve your technical issues, specializing in customized network installations along with workstation maintenance. Call P3 today at 931-450-4210 or visit our website at www.p3tech.net.
P3 Technology,
where technology meets opportunity.
Clanton Pipe and Supply, your corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe supplier. Clanton has been selling pipe for over 30 years and carries all types and sizes of corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe. Special orders and delivery are available. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton has you covered too. They have everything from skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Clanton Pipe and Supply, 931-684-4847, 904 Madison Street, Shelbyville.
Schedule to get your property surveyed today at Northcutt Surveying. We provide services such as boundary surveying, topographical surveys, construction layouts, and more. We've been giving our customers accurate and precise results since 1965. Give us a call today at 931-684-2741 so we can help you improve your tomorrow. That's Northcutt Surveying in Shelbyville. And always remember, once an eagle, always an eagle.
Hey, it's Tad Craig for Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company, located at 508 South Cannon Boulevard in Shelbyville, Tennessee, just across the Duck River Bridge. You know, real estate has changed so much lately, but it's good to know some things never change, like dedication, integrity, and character. Here at Craig & Wheeler, we strive to treat you the way we'd want to be treated. Real estate can be the most money you'll ever make or spend in your lifetime. It's stressful, and we believe we can help remove that stress. Call us today at Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company for your biggest decisions. 931-684-9112 or visit us on the web at craigwheeler.com.
The Coach Dryden Show, back in action right here on WLIJ, Shelbyville's home for Central.
Folks, welcome back to the Coach Dryden Show. I'm Brayden Blackwell, joined with Coach Judd Dryden of the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles. You're listening to WLIJ 98.7 and AM 1580, WLIJ, home for Shelbyville Central Athletics, both Eagles and Eaglettes. And what we were just talking about over the break, before we dive into the Columbia Central game coming up tomorrow, is there are so many improvements coming to this football program. And since I was last there 2 years ago, I didn't personally play football, but I kept up with it a lot because I had a bunch of my friends who played on the team, of course. And just a lot of different aspects. The culture has changed. It's changing fast.
It's those guys that you're talking about that change that culture.
Oh, yeah. And like we mentioned during the break, I know no one else heard it but we, and the weight room, you're getting a lot of refurbishes there. You're getting the drainage equipment fixed up. So just give everybody a little breakdown of what's to come.
So it's pretty cool. You know, the partnership that Central has had with Cooper Steel has been the biggest of all blessings. And what, you know, it started with Gary Cooper's vision to utilize some of the things that some of us in football and baseball and soccer and a few other programs were already doing, which is reaching out into the community and the elementary schools to start doing work down there with those little guys and gals. So he came on board, and through his grant program, they streamlined the whole process to where, and I know baseball is similar to ours. I don't remember what boys soccer was or Renaissance, but football had over 1,500 community service hours specifically with grades K through 5.
Wow.
The baseball program was similar. They were in the same range, and I know soccer was over 1,000, but I couldn't tell you exactly what their numbers were.
A lot of involvement.
A lot of involvement. And all about, and I don't have numbers in front of me, but I know that I've been told that multiple attendance has gone up in certain elementary schools through the program. Reading and test scores have gone up, and it's huge, and it's been amazing. A byproduct of that has been Gary's look into the needs in the facilities athletically and other things, to where he's like, okay, we're doing the grant program and we're making great strides. Let's give our current guys that are working and the future, those K through 5s, a chance to play in top-notch facilities. Let's be with the way we look at it, it's almost, he hasn't necessarily said this, but the way we look at it is, it's almost like let's be the envy of everybody,
right?
You know, and not just the facilities, but in everything, the way we do it, the culture of the athletic department of the school. So putting on the athletic director hat for a second, I'm so blessed in the head coaches that we have. I have never in my life been part of an athletic department that works so well together. that encourages and supports and does all of that. I mean, there's not a single program that we have right now that is selfish at heart. That we all, so us, football, basketball, baseball, boys soccer, all share athletes across the board, and some of our best athletes are shared.
Right.
And, I mean, we're talking multiple guys that are good at what they do in multiple sports. And we all, there's always support. There's conversations. There's communication. All that stuff is happening. For instance, when the head boys soccer coach is out helping me paint the game field for a Friday night game, that's kind of a big deal. He doesn't have to do that. Coach Jones with baseball is constantly, hey, he'll text me after a game, or he'll holler at me if we need anything. Coach Young with boys basketball is constantly working to help us, recruit our hallways and do other things. So it's amazing on the boys' side, and what we're seeing on the girls' side now is the same thing starting to happen. Girls soccer is trending upwardly. Volleyball is trending upwardly. We're excited with basketball because of the numbers that have jumped and grown. Softball has made some huge improvements that, once again, the iceberg principle, nobody can see yet, that will eventually pay huge dividends for them.
Right.
And so you have all that. Then you have the sports that nobody thinks about all the time, tennis. Allison Smith's doing a great job of tennis. J.C. Hunsaker, who's our offense coordinator and the head track coach, had a phenomenal. Took 4 kids to the state meet at Middle. Adrian Keeley taking over wrestling. We now have girls wrestling and a new head coach for girls wrestling. So, and I know I'm forgetting a few cross country. Shannon has done wonders with improving the perception of that program and doing things to improve it. Not that Cherry, before she left, wasn't doing that, but Shannon has taken what she's done and continued to move it forward. And I know I'm forgetting something. Golf. Our golf is solid. It's not the best around, but Megan does a great job of trying to make sure it is a well-run program. So we are, like I said, we're truly blessed. And so going back to Gary Cooper and Cooper Steele, they have been investing money in facilities. And so right now what we've seen is, of course, they gave us in baseball the new video scoreboards.
Yeah, I got a sample size of baseball when we were calling it last season for the first time. It's cool. It's great. And
man, baseball's got the Taj Mahal of all press boxes. I mean, it's gorgeous.
I was very impressed when I walked in there for the first game. It's amazing,
and there's more stuff on tap for them.
Oh yeah,
we have a for whatever the reasons in the past, the fields that we have, football practice field, softball, baseball, the soccer field, they weren't, like I said, nothing against anybody in the past, but they weren't strategically planned.
Right.
And so there's some issues in drainage and engineering that have to be addressed, and Cooper Steel is helping us address those. So that'll be one of the first projects coming up outside. And then once that happens and a few other things are approved, we're going to look totally different in 3 years. I mean, outside will look totally different. I sat in on a meeting with softball, and they are with their booster club. They are looking at a new scoreboard as well, potential outfield fencing, work around their area of that facility. Baseball has multiple other improvements coming, and there is still the potential for field turf in the football stadium, which will move both soccer programs over to the football field, and it'll just be a stadium field, no longer be the our home.
Right, it'll be a shared field,
our home, and as well as Harris has access.
Right,
and so that's big. That Harris boys and girls soccer will be able to come over and play games on turf, and we'll still put money into the current game field for soccer, so that if there's a conflict going on at any moment, they still have a home field,
right,
and all that. So there's just a lot going on. But one of the most exciting things for me, because I am at my core, I'm a strength conditioning guy. That is I'll be the first one to tell you I'm probably better at that than I am at coaching any kind of football. It is what it is. So We have hired a brand new head strength conditioning coach who has Division I and Division II college level experience. He worked with Air Force football. He's worked with multiple basketball, soccer programs. If he's not been involved in the specific sport, he's been involved in a parallel sport with the same requirements that we have. And so we're starting to see, all of our non-football sports are starting to become in the weight room consistently, strength conditioning wise, in there consistently. Right now they're using the field house because the old weight room in the gym is being completely renovated and will probably cost north of $600,000 in the renovations by the time it's all said and done. And it's going to look amazing. There will be a lot of Division II FCS schools that don't have the facility that we'll have up there, and it will be available to every single athlete we have. And Coach Pope, the administration and guidance counselors are working hard to make sure every student that's an athlete has access to that during the day, and they're working hard to make that happen. So our culture athletically is, the trajectory is incredibly high. And as people come on board and more support happens, we're looking at some things like a full-fledged nutrition program for our athletes.
That's good.
To guarantee that they'll have around 100 grams of protein and a certain number of calories, multivitamin, everything that we have gone out and found that they need, they're going to get. They're going to have access to. And that alone is worth a lot of money. A year. We're talking a ton of athletes that have access to that amount. So it's just exciting to be part of that. It's exhausting at times, with everything that goes on, but it's exciting and it carries itself. And it's there's no better time. I'm a transplant here. I'm an East Tennessee guy. I say East Tennessee Plateau, Crossville, but I am. There's no better time to have been here. And we've got great athletes, we've got good kids, but just the way everything is going now, there's no better time to be a Golden Eagle in this county. And I can't speak more highly. And I know I'm going to have, there's going to be purple and gold out there that's going to be upset here and that. There's going to be orange, black. There's going to be some feet that'll be upset, but there's no better time to be an Eagle. That's just how it is. And what nobody sees as well is the change in culture within the building and academics.
Right.
Central Sports can claim, they can claim all kinds of big time academic people. You've got neurosurgeons. You've got, you've got you've got attorneys. You've got just doctors and whatever. They're all there, engineers. Right. And they leave and come back to the area, and so it's huge. And we're finally starting to see again the iceberg. We're starting to see the base of the iceberg start to build up, and it's just a matter of time. We stay the course. We do the things. We continue to do the right things the right way. As Coach Pope continues to say, you put the right people with the right character in the right place, and the right thing's going to happen.
Right.
That's what it boils down to, and that's the trajectory that we're on right now.
Yeah, it's a big push. I'm so happy to see, like you mentioned before, that weight room in the gym. I'm very happy to see it being refurbished.
It's going to be amazing.
And I know it's nowhere but up from here. Yeah. And we'll talk about the Columbia Central game coming up after we take a short 2-minute break. We'll be right back here on the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ.
P3 Technology, serving the IT needs of Bedford and surrounding counties for over 25 years, offering a wide range of technical services to satisfy your business network needs. P3 is your one-stop shop for IT.
That's right. Our technicians will work quickly to resolve your technical issues, specializing in customized network installations along with workstation maintenance. Call P3 today at 931-450-4210 or visit our website at www.p3tech.net.
P3 Technology,
where technology meets opportunity.
Clanton Pipe and Supply, your corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe supplier. Clanton has been selling pipe for over 30 years and carries all types and sizes of corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe. Special orders and delivery are available. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton has you covered too. They have everything from skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Clanton Pipe and Supply, 931-684-4847, 904 Madison Street, Shelbyville.
Schedule to get your property surveyed today at Northcutt Surveying. We provide services such as boundary surveying, topographical surveys, construction layouts, and more. We've been giving our customers accurate and precise results since 1965. Give us a call today at 931-684-2741 so we can help you improve your tomorrow. That's Northcutt Surveying in Shelbyville. And always remember, once an eagle, always an eagle.
Hey, it's Tad Craig for Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company, located at 508 South Cannon Boulevard in Shelbyville, Tennessee, just across the Duck River Bridge. You know, real estate has changed so much lately, but it's good to know some things never change, like dedication, integrity, and character. Here at Craig & Wheeler, we strive to treat you the way we'd want to be treated. Real estate can be the most money you'll ever make or spend in your lifetime. It's stressful, and we believe we can help remove that stress. Call us today at Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company for your biggest decisions. 931-684-9112 or visit us on the web at craigwheeler.com.
Get ready to dominate the day. The Coach Dryden Show, right here on your radio home for Golden Eagle football, WLIJ.
And welcome back to the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ. Brayden Blackwell, joined with, of course, who else but Coach Dryden. And now we'll finally take a deep dive into the game coming up tomorrow. You're taking on Columbia Central. Last year, beat them 29-7, or 29-27 rather. And both Shelbyville and Columbia, only loss so far this season has been Marshall County. Yeah. And like you mentioned, Marshall County is one of the toughest teams to play right now. But you got to play them. Columbia got to play them in the early stages of the season. Yep. So now you're seeing both teams are ready to go into the region and the district play, and this is where it really starts to pick up, because Columbia coming off of a 24-0 win over Hunters Lane, yep, and that's going to be a good bit of momentum. But Shelbyville just coming off a nice win to get off the back of the Red Raiders over in Manchester. I guess the main thing I got to ask, anything from the Coffee County game that you can take over, any kind of motion, any formations or things like that that'll work out pretty well for y'all going back at the nest for our first broadcasting game?
The big thing right now, it's really, really hard to compare scores and compare, all right, so, we're 2-1, they're 2-1, our only loss is Marshall County. But you got to look at, game one for Marshall County, a lot of mistakes there. Game two for us, a lot of mistakes for us. And then you start looking at the non-common opponents, and so it gets really hard. So we try to not pay attention to those things. Those are just kind of noise for us,
right? And
we try to take a deep dive into, all right, what is that Columbia Central does, what are they trying to do on both sides of the ball, special teams, and diagnose what those things are, and then come up with the game plan from there. So I'll tell you right now, right out of the gate, they are athletic, maybe more so than last year, and they play hard. Coach Goff has done a wonderful job there of getting those, in his second year, getting those guys on track and doing some good things with them. They're not as multiple as Marshall County was. They're not as multiple as, in some ways, as Coffee County was.
Right.
So, but where they lack in complexity that way, they make up for in getting off the ball, and they make up for in athletes, and they're finding ways to get the ball to their athletes. And so that creates a whole different dynamic for us. Where against Coffee County, we had more athletes on the field. Now they had the Pippinger kid is one of the better athletes in the mid-state.
Absolutely.
And that just is what it is.
Very impressive athlete.
But overall, athlete to athlete, we were better on the skill positions. They were a little bit better, O-line, D-line.
Right.
So it kind of washed itself out. we match up with athletes and against Columbia Central, and they might have a slight edge on us overall. But there again, you got to line up and play football. You know, the paper doesn't dictate the outcome.
Yeah, paper can only get you so far.
And so defensively, they've got a D1 commit on that side of the ball and a 3-technique defensive tackle. They can fly around. Justice Haggard is a great safety back there and can and hawk down guys consistently. So we're going to have to do things right, and we're going to have to do things well, and we're going to have to be consistent. So that's really the overview of, kind of the game itself. Game plan-wise, we've just got to continue to expand our offense and make sure that we're in a position where Robert doesn't have to carry the ball 30 times. I think 20 touches for him is right in his wheelhouse.
Right.
There'll be a few more here and there, a few less here and there, but Steven is getting better in the pocket and making better decisions. What I love about that young man is, he makes a mistake and then it doesn't repeat itself.
Right.
That's incredible.
And he's young as well.
Sophomore. He's 15 years old.
Him being able to do that is very impressive.
And no matter what field we step on, he's going to be one of the best athletes on the field as well as a sophomore. So
absolutely, you
have that mindset, that intelligence, that mindset, that growth mindset, and the athleticism. He's good. You've got other guys that are starting to fill positions and make contributions that, like, wow, how about that? You got Mason Shavers gets moved out to the wide receiver to what we call the X spot.
In the Coffee County game, I was going to ask you about that.
Blocks his tail off. I mean, in practice, he runs great routes. He catches good balls. We've not had many opportunities to target him, but I mean, what he gives up in just a little bit of athleticism, he gives back tenfold in effort, leadership, and his willingness to sacrifice himself for his teammates out there.
Doing his job.
He does, and you can't fault him at all for how he plays, and it's he's been a true blessing in how he has taken that role and owned it. We got a couple other sophomores in Jackson Thiem at the tight end spot, what we call our Y. He's gotten much better, and Brody Lavorne rotates in with him some. So offensively, we just have to be able to line up, execute, and let our athletes outperform theirs. Give them the opportunity to outperform theirs. So defensively, we've got to be able to line up, come downhill, play football. If we can line up, if we can fit gaps correctly, if we can make the right coverage calls and stay in it and not have any busted coverages, we'll compete. And at the end of the day, all you can hope for is a chance to win the game at the end of the game. And that's what we feel like we can do.
Right, and like you mentioned before, Columbia, first district region game, the most important game that's been played so far. You mentioned paper can only get you so far when looking at a team. The non-conference games don't mean much, but they give you just the smallest little bit of insight going into it. And throughout the season, I mean, in terms of rushing, Robert Bailey's had this is from Max Preps, so you can be free, more than free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Nice.
And Robert Bailey, 68 carries, 612 yards, 6 touchdowns, as well as Steven, who has 169 yards for 3 touchdowns. The rushing attack has been more lethal than I've seen it in watching Shelbyville for 6 years. They're doing a great job. Passing game is starting to slowly, Robert's getting that weight taken off of his back. He's starting to move slowly into the passing game. And Stephen Bobo, watching that last Coffee County game, did an incredible job of rolling out. Great last play to William Bobo on the last one, hitting the comeback. And being able to communicate like that is one of the most important things in football, because I would imagine that William wasn't prepared for a pass in that situation.
They obviously, being brothers, there's a connection there.
Right.
The backyard thing really plays in, and I know they play a lot of backyard football. They're not your normal go do it on Madden kind of.
Yeah, right. I got
you. Get out in grass and get dirty. So that's always been big for them. And William is, as a senior, has started as a sophomore. And so he's got a ton of experience. He understands how to break a route off and how to get in the quarterback's vision. And LeBron Ransom is good at that as well. And Maddox Wright is good at that. So Steven is surrounded by guys and playmakers that if he can just stay within himself and not get out of his wheelhouse and deliver the football in a way that gets them in space, great things can happen for us. And that's what has to happen for us offensively tomorrow night, is just simply be able to limit mistakes and execute so we can get the right guys the right ball at the right time.
Right, and calm, cool, collective is how you're going to have to play against Columbia Central going into tomorrow. Real quick, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back here with the Coach Dryden Show on WLIJ.
P3 Technology, serving the IT needs of Bedford and surrounding counties for over 25 years, offering a wide range of technical services to satisfy your business network needs. P3 is your one-stop shop for IT.
That's right. Our technicians will work quickly to resolve your technical issues, specializing in customized network installations along with workstation maintenance. Call P3 today at 931-450-4210 or visit our website at www.p3tech.net.
P3 Technology,
where technology meets opportunity.
Clanton Pipe and Supply, your corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe supplier. Clanton has been selling pipe for over 30 years and carries all types and sizes of corrugated plastic and metal culvert pipe. Special orders and delivery are available. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton has you covered too. They have everything from skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Clanton Pipe and Supply, 931-684-4847, 904 Madison Street, Shelbyville.
Schedule to get your property surveyed today at Northcutt Surveying. We provide services such as boundary surveying, topographical surveys, construction layouts, and more. We've been giving our customers accurate and precise results since 1965. Give us a call today at 931-684-2741 so we can help you improve your tomorrow. That's Northcutt Surveying in Shelbyville. And always remember, once an eagle, always an eagle.
Hey, it's Tad Craig for Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company, located at 508 South Cannon Boulevard in Shelbyville, Tennessee, just across the Duck River Bridge. You know, real estate has changed so much lately, but it's good to know some things never change, like dedication, integrity, and character. Here at Craig & Wheeler, we strive to treat you the way we'd want to be treated. Real estate can be the most money you'll ever make or spend in your lifetime. It's stressful, and we believe we can help remove that stress. Call us today at Craig & Wheeler Realty and Auction Company for your biggest decisions. 931-684-9112 or visit us on the web at craigwheeler.com.
You're listening to the Coach Dryden Show on Shelbyville's home for Central, 98.7 and AM 1580 WLIJ. Let's send it back to Studio B.
And welcome back, everybody. Coach Dryden Show right here on WLIJ, brought to you by P3 Technology, Northcutt Surveying, Clanton Pipe and Supply, and Craig & Wheeler Realty. Coach, I do want to bring up something that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned culture a lot in our right before the break when we started going more into the culture. I'm kind of curious to figure out what has been done, maybe outside of the field house as well, outside of the field. What do you do to kind of get everybody on the same page, make them gel together really well come game time?
I'm going to tell you what, this is probably my favorite thing to talk about. So with our guys, we have 5 expectations for them. Okay, and I'll start with that and then get into the other pieces. That, you know, the first expectation is based on their attitude and their effort, and it goes back to living in the moment and having a mindset that says, I'm going to give effort because it's the only thing I can control.
Right.
Not going to worry about anything I can't control. I'm going to do this right now for my brothers.
Right. Do what you need to do.
Yes. The next thing is a mindset that's based in servant leadership. We give to each other. We graciously accept what's given to us. We show gratitude for what's given to us. We encourage each other, and we also give to those that can't give back. When you go to the grant program, those little guys, K through 5, little guys, little girls, they can't do anything for our guys. There's, so everything about that is going and giving.
Right.
And so that lends you a different perspective on everything that happens. The next thing is perseverance. We expect grit, that when things get hard, and then that goes back to the strength conditioning program and the other things we do, that we're hard. I mean, what we do, I put them through a couple of things, especially in the summer and a little bit throughout the season, that's If anybody was out there, strength conditioning coach and their football coach, they look at that and go, that has absolutely nothing to do with getting better as a football player. And they would be right. But what it is it's hard. And you have to make a choice to finish.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how fast you finish it. The key is that you finish it. That's where grit comes from. It's a choice in every moment to continue and not just not quit, but strive to finish.
Absolutely.
And that is where that comes in, that perseverance and grit. There's also we call it being a hammer, but it's an intensity. It's not so much how angry you strike something. It is it an explosive strike, and is it on point? That's how a hammer works. It's on point, it's targeted, it's focused, and it's strong and intense. And so that's what we want, that focus in effort. So we take the effort, we take the striving, and we zero it in with a laser-like focus on what the job is in the moment. And then finally is accountability. One of the things that we do not allow in our program is a lack of accountability. We don't allow a victim mentality. We don't allow our guys to blame somebody else or try to deflect what's going on.
Right.
We as coaches don't do it. I don't allow our coaching staff. My philosophy that and I'll be honest, I force it on our guys, even though they buy into it as soon as they hear the explanation, is that if it's happening on the field, it's our fault because we're either coaching it that way or we're allowing it to happen. And so everything we do as coaches is seen through that lens and that filter, and that leads into the accountability for the players, that they understand that if whatever they do on the field, it's on them, and they can either fix it or they can fail and not be part of what we have going on. That's the only two options. You're going to make a mistake. And when you fail, the choice becomes, do I fix it or do I quit? And for us, quitting is never the answer. If you don't strive to fix it, then you can't be part of what we do. And so that's a huge part of everything in our culture. So now, at the same time, it's pretty funny. The first year we did it, going back to the loss at Tullahoma, I think it was your senior year down there.
I believe so, yeah.
You go back to the loss at Tullahoma, it was rough. I mean, we had that game, and we didn't come away with it. The very next day, going into the horse show break, if I remember right, we had our guys scheduled to go to the pool. And I got a couple of calls, texts, and emails wanting to know why I was rewarding our guys for losing. And so I'm like, people don't understand outside the locker room. It wasn't a reward for losing.
Right.
It was a recognition that they had spent weeks upon weeks since the dead period striving to get better in a very hard situation. I mean, we all know we went 1-9 that year in the regular season. And because of that one win, we get matched with Oakland in the playoffs. I mean, it's with I think we started 4 seniors that night against Oakland. So yeah, it was.
It's a tough matchup.
It was a slightly difficult matchup for us, and I felt like we just missed it. But no, so we go to the pool and the rec center, and they had a great time. They got fed and all that. And then throughout the course of the year, we had some other things. We had, even before that, we had our mom's morning. We had our dad's night out with dads, trying to get just everybody in, out. Yes, it revolves around football, but it's not football.
Yeah, get everybody in and involved.
It's that family aspect. It's that let's just come, chill, hang out together. Tell all kinds of big and false stories and just do the thing, right? Then we followed up with we went bowling, and then we went big cornhole tournament, and had a Madden football tournament, which I'm hoping will turn into the new NCAA.
Oh yeah,
college, this coming year.
Hopefully.
So however they want to set it up. We just let the guys, our leadership council sets it up. But the whole point is that we want them to come into the field house, and we want them to feel at home. We want it to be where they want to be, because it's comfortable, it's familiar, it's relaxed. When we get out on the field, we're intense and we're focused, and I'm never happy, and I'm never satisfied, and I walk around frustrated and irritated all the time because I really don't feel like I do anything anymore, because I've got a full staff and I don't coordinate or call anything, so all I do is walk around being bored and frustrated.
Yeah.
So that's but there again, it speaks highly of the guys we have, that I don't have to, I coach coaches and I take care of the culture. That's what I do. That's my role.
Right.
And I protect it at all costs. And so getting them into the field house to where they enjoy their time there, and they'll come into the office. And you'll walk in the office, there'll be 15 guys in there just spread out everywhere in the office, and you can't even weave your way through to get to your desk, because they're just hanging out, and it's amazing. I mean, it's one of those things I would not trade it for anything. And that's where our culture's at. That's what the focus about it is. They know when it's time to work, and they know when it's time to relax.
Right.
And that I love them for it. They're fun. I'd do anything for any of them, and it's just I'm truly blessed to be in this role in this time at this school.
Right, and so you can be as good of a coach as you are on the football field, but that outside of football perspective, like the pool and the game tournaments and bowling and whatnot, it's really what kind of puts the cherry on top of everything. You got to be able to have your team be able to work together without you hovering over them. Right. You got to let them be their own leader. And so the thing there is just the ability to bond a family without being specific on your quote unquote team building type stuff. It's which is not bad. It's just not how I am, and it's not how I want the brotherhood. I want we're in the trenches together, where we go to war together. We also play together. Right.
And I don't like it to be necessarily scripted. So, they set the tournament up. They set the cornhole tournament up. They figure out how they want to do it and the rules and all that kind, just like you would in the in the man cave or the basement or wherever your parents may have you set up for your.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it's just a dozen guys just get together, and for us it's about 6 dozen, or 7 dozen. So that's just how we want to do it, and then they'll invite some of the guys that are Harrison Liberty guys and all that, and then all of a sudden we're like, whoa, where everybody else come from?
Everybody just keeps
then I'm calling moms on the Booster Club like, hey, we need a little more food here, can we? And they start laughing because Missy Zimmerman and our entire Booster Club do a great job, and she's I can't imagine how bad I frustrate her at times. So like, hey, we need an extra platter here, and it's so
need a couple extra platters.
Yeah, no doubt. So you take one home, but it's so they're like I said, they're just fun, and they give everything back to the coaching staff that we give to them, and it's a great reciprocal relationship between coaches and players. The respect is there from both sides. Everything about it is at this point in time amazing, and like I said, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right, you got a very strong group of guys. You said you have about how many players on the roster?
Oh my gosh, I think we topped 95 yesterday.
95.
So, yeah.
So you've got you got 95 guys that you've got to.
We may not have enough time to get into that, but when I took over 3 years ago, I got hired during the dead period, and there was myself and Coach Hunsaker.
Right.
When we came back from the dead period, that's it.
Just y'all two.
60 guys on the roster, and
that's a lot of responsibility.
8 seniors, and a couple of them ended up leaving, and we're down to 6 seniors, and ended up starting 4 for the season. So
it's a tough spot to be in.
It was rough, and so I called him whenever I got the job offer. I called him and said, "All right, so it's happened. Here's what we're gonna do. Enjoy your dead period. Stay on vacation. Don't think about football. We'll meet at 6 a.m. before an 8 a.m. practice on Monday. I don't remember what day, July, whatever it was, 6 or whatever.
Right.
And we'll figure out that day. And then after that, we'll meet and figure out the next day. And that's kind of how and then slowly through prayer and through answered prayer and networking, you had Will Trice comes on board, Stephon Ransom comes on board. We got a hire from out of state that came on, and next thing you know, we got a staff of 5 or 6. One was truly part-time. He's only able to be there a couple days a week. So then the off season happens, and we're able to add Coach Stewart, Trey Stewart, and then one more. And so we're starting to build. Went through some upheaval during this past off season, but have now Dr. Garrett magically was able to get us another stipend for this year because we topped.
I feel like she's good at that.
She is pretty dang good at helping us out. I mean, and not just football; it's all of our athletics, and she does everything she can. And
right.
And she's gold. I mean, she is by far gold as a superintendent, and we've been blessed by her and her leadership and what she's done through what she does through Coach Pope, but. She found a stipend, so we just made an offer today on a coach. He filled out his application, so when it comes back and he's background checked, we'll get him out there. So that brings us up to 9 paid, a couple of intern types that are still in school and trying to figure things out. So we're going to be okay, but boy, it's a far cry from we finished that first year with 45 guys on the roster, and now we're at 95. So it's nuts.
Yeah,
so,
you got a lot of those players are really good at being able to be a leader as well. Yeah. So kind of feels like you have other coaches as well that might even just be have the helmets and pads on. Yeah. But like you mentioned, culture isn't going nowhere but up from here, and I could see it getting way bigger in years past. Do you have anything else that is on your mind?
Only that it's not just the football culture. It's the entire athletic department.
Right.
You're starting to see it across the board. Some programs are not quite there yet, but they're trending. Some are approaching the baseball culture is great, the boys soccer and all that, and then you start basketball starting to come on, and I'm excited that the roster for girls basketball I think is almost tripled.
Really?
So there's quite a bit there. The volleyball roster is enormous. I mean, I'm like, golly, where they all come from? And so she's doing a great job. And so anyway, it's band is the relationship we have with band is phenomenal.
And we have a fantastic band.
We do, and so it's across the board, and it's everybody's rowing in the same direction. Everybody's carrying the same lunch. Everybody's swinging at the same stones, and it's huge for us. And as long as we can maintain it, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be some obstacles that get in the way. There's going to be unforeseen things that happen. But as long as we can maintain it as an athletic department in a school, Central's going to be just fine moving forward. And we are incredibly excited. I'm excited to be a part of it as both the head football coach and athletic director. So I can't speak highly enough.
Yeah, it's. Started my first broadcast of the football games last year, and as soon as I saw everything moving forward, it's gonna be one heck of a ride. Yeah. Golden Eagles take on the Columbia Central Lions tomorrow. We'll be live at 6:45 for pregame, and then me alongside Jason Boyette and possibly Dylan Simmons. I'm not 100% sure if he has anything else on his plate from MTSU. But as for today, thank you for tuning in to the Coach Dryden Show. This has been Brayden Blackwell alongside Coach Judd Dryden. We'll see you next week.
P3